Luke Voit has a partially torn meniscus, plus we have bullpen updates. Let's talk about it next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5, a podcast that gets you caught up fast on the fantasy news and advice that you need to know. Follow and stream us on Spotify and anywhere else podcasts are found. Today is Monday, March 29th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Chris Towers, and let's start off with the unfortunate news regarding Luke Voit. Mentioned it, he has a partially torn meniscus. He is shut down for 3 weeks. We might not see him again until May at some point. Chris, how far are you dropping Luke Voit in your rankings?
I dropped him, I think, out of the top 12 at first base in both head-to-head and roto leagues. So he's 13th. In head-to-head points. Basically what I did was I moved Andrew Vaughn up in all my leagues in my rankings after the Eloy Jimenez injury and the likelihood that Vaughn's going to play every day now. And then I just moved Luke Voit. That was my reference point. I just moved Luke Voit down to just ahead of where Andrew Vaughn was. So it was right around 120 in both. I think 13th in points, 14th in head-to-head in roto at first base.
Jay Bruce will make the Yankees team and presumably start at first base. Any interest in Jay Bruce while Luke Voit is out?
I'm realizing I didn't even have him in my first base rankings, which tells you where my interest level was before this injury. I would be surprised if he played every single day. They've got Mike Ford who can fill in on occasion. And, Jay Bruce is, even at his best, he's a low OBP, bad defense guy. So, I think I might have him on one of my roto teams just because it happened right after the news broke. And, if I can stick him in a corner infield spot for a few weeks and he hits 5 homers in, 20 games, that'd be great. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing.
Just give me a name here, Chris. Say you drafted Luke Voit and you are in need of a first baseman now that he's hurt. Between CJ Cron, Joey Votto, Jeimer Candelario, and Christian Walker, all 4 of those are rostered in 60% or less of CBS leagues. Which one do you like most?
Cron, and it helps that he starts with 4 games at Coors Field in week 1. For
sure. Let's get to some of these bullpen updates. Apparently, Amir Garrett and Lucas Sims are going to open the year as co-closers with the Cincinnati Reds. Does this completely scare you off of Amir Garrett now, Chris?
No, I think you can still, you're still looking at getting him outside of the top 200. And once you're in that range, I'm willing to take guys who I don't think will be closers, but who I think will be really good, like Alex Reyes in that range anyway. So why would I not take Amir Garrett in that range with the chance that he could become the closer? But I think it moves Lucas Sims into the draftable range in a roto league, especially because he's the righty in that situation. So he might have a leg up.
Matt Barnes tested positive for COVID over the weekend, was expected to be the closer for the Boston Red Sox. As of now, he's not showing any symptoms, but he needs to stay away from the team for at least 10 days. There is a chance that he is back after the first weekend of baseball and that we get him on that first Monday of the fantasy baseball season. So are you assuming that Adam Ottavino is the closer for now, or how are you handling this situation with the Red Sox?
I've got a lot of leagues where I didn't really draft any closers and I'm just going to look for saves on the wire. So in those leagues, I'll throw out a $3 bid out of a $100 budget on Adam Ottavino and see if 1, he can pick up a couple saves that weekend. That'd be great. And 2, I think he's probably a better pitcher than Matt Barnes. So maybe he does end up the closer in the long term.
The Diamondbacks manager, Torey Lovullo, told reporters on Sunday that he doesn't believe the team has a clear-cut closer. And we were operating under the assumption that Joakim Soria is the team's closer because they signed him in the offseason. Clear veteran. He's been doing this a while now. There's also Stefan Crichton in that bullpen. He picked up a few saves towards the end of last season. JB Bukauskas is a name that has been lighting it up so far in the spring for the Diamondbacks. So how are you handling this situation right now? Are you still operating under the assumption that it's Soria?
I mean, if you surveyed every manager in baseball, would more than 12 of them say that they have a closer?
Probably
right
not.
Now, 3 days before the start of the season, 4 days before they have to make their first decision. I don't think this means anything. I think Soria is most likely to get the saves there, and he's worth a late round pick.
Yep, and I've drafted him a few spots as my second closer, sometimes even my third closer, but pay attention to that situation out there with the Arizona Diamondbacks. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, and anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. This is your audio outlet for fantasy news and advice in just 5 minutes. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye.